This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Hey guys, so far we've seen some warrior princesses, we've seen some Pixar princesses, now it's time to delve into some rip-off princesses. Let's take a look at Video Brinquedo's Little Princess School.
You know what's funny? I look at this cover and I can't help but imagine that little chibi Spider-Man from that t-shirt I gave you, getting a little chibi boner for all these little chibi princesses.
I find that doubtful. Do you see a little chibi redhead on this cover?
Actually, yes. Yes, I do.
Huh. We open on our trilogy of princess shorts, because I guess they wanted to try to rip off My Little Pony at the same time with this one, on a little theme song introducing us to our main characters, including Snow White, Cinderella, Tiana, Jasmine, and the aforementioned redhead I don't recognize.
Cindy, Bianca, Hemiria, and Zachi, all of them go to princess school so they can learn to be beautiful.
Wait a second. Hime? Spelled out with a pseudo-Chinese calligraphy font? Is that supposed to be the ripoff of Mulan? Is that why she's got her eyes closed like that? You couldn't just draw them to be slightly more narrow than those of her BFFs? If you want to tell us on how she's the Chinese princess, I think giving her black hair might help.
Hemiria and Zachi.
Not sure how you get the G sound out of that name, but okay.
Looks more like Zod to me.
Kneel before Zod!
All of them go to princess school so they can become so beautiful.
Ugh. At least the main six from My Little Pony are trying to learn what friendship is all about. All these princesses are learning is how to be beautiful. They're not doing a very good job of it.
Oh, you'd be surprised what some people find beautiful. Are you sure you don't want to do a Rule 34 search for these girls?
Yes, I'm sure. Our first story, called Sleeping Beauties, begins in the princess's dorm room. They're the only 5 students in a private school that's literally a castle, but they all have to share one bedroom.
Come on, Bianca, there's no point in trying to hide that crazy rooster of yours.
We're not even 2 minutes into this thing and you already set me up with a cock joke? Come on, movie!
Come on, Bianca, there's no point in trying to hide that crazy rooster of yours.
It would appear that Bianca's affinity for animals often gets the princesses into trouble with their teachers, one of whom is the evil queen. Doesn't she have a kingdom to run?
She almost caught us that time. Bianca, someday you're gonna get us into real trouble all because you have to have your animals.
You're right. Oh, I'm sorry, girls. I'm really not trying to do that.
I'm really not trying to put in more effort to bring the animals inside than it would take to just leave them outside, I swear! The night comes and goes, and we join the little princesses on their way to their first class with Madame Drastic.
She's always looking to catch us in some mischief. I'm sure she runs to tell Madame Grimm everything she possibly can. And then it would be bye-bye princess school. We'd have to return to our kingdoms as failures and never be able to take part in any fairy tales.
So wait, you're aware of the fact that you're just fairy tale characters? Oh my god, that opens up too many questions. I mean, you're fine with being fictional characters? You don't think it's a little weird how you're somehow converging on the same point in space and time despite all coming from different regions and time periods? Why do you need to go to school to learn anything if you're aware that everything you do is all coming from the mind of some storyteller? If they know that they're fictional characters, do they also know how they're being presented in different media? Are they aware of how horribly they're being animated right now? Anyway, they decide to take a peek inside the forbidden storeroom, where the school keeps their mystical objects, which then prompts the soundtrack to start playing Whalers on the Moon.
We're whalers on the moon, we carry a harpoon. But there ain't no whales, so we tell tall tales and sing a whaling tune.
It's an enchanted apple. I wonder what it does exactly.
Oh, look over here, girls. It looks like a pumpkin carriage. I wonder what this is for.
You're aware that you're a fairy tale character, but you don't know your own fairy tale's plot devices? It isn't long before they come across the spinning wheel that would put Sleeping Beauty into a death-like sleep. And Sleeping Beauty doesn't appear in this movie, so this is more than a little confusing.
What's this? I'm not sure.
I think it's some kind of ergometric bicycle.
In this movie, girl power is the power of stupid.
Why wouldn't Cinderella know what a spinning wheel is? Maybe Bianca and Aria wouldn't know how their clothes are made since they were born into royalty, but Cinderella's been living as the help for her stepfamily for a considerable chunk of her life. I don't know if spinning wheels like those used in Sleeping Beauty's day were still being used in Cinderella's, but I would think that she would at least know what one is. She wasn't born a princess, she had to marry the prince first.
Nuh-uh, she don't need no man. Girl power.
But that's literally how she became a princess.
Girl power.
Okay, easy.
What do you suppose this?
She's dead. You killed her.
Bianca and Zaji soon fall prey to the spinning wheel, and oh my god, what the f*** is that thing?
I'm the magic mirror.
No, you're a racist caricature of a black person that's so offensive that every animator from the 1930s is saying, good god, tone it down a bit.
I am the wisdom of the ages. If you have questions, I have the answers.
I have a question. Can you back away from the mirror as far as possible, please? She tells the mirror what happened to her friends, and the mirror tells her the only thing that can save them is if they're kissed by a prince.
But there aren't any princes around here.
There are princesses, but there are no princes? Do the royals just kill their sons at birth?
Oh no, they just go to the little prince school across the lake where they learn how to be effective rulers.
Ah, you mean bland, boring, and nowhere near as marketable as their princess counterparts?
Exactly.
While searching for other ways to wake up the princesses, because magic mirrors have dial-up, you see that this little dwarf named Lurch is coming. Is he a janitor? Equipment manager? I don't know, but I do know that he's not a lurch.
Oh no, illegal operation. That's why I hate always depending on technology. Sometimes it's nothing but trouble.
Yeah, remember all those times that Cinderella had to do something with technology, and it always let her down in frustratingly comical situations? Ugh. Hime, the red-headed Chinese princess, beats Lurch to the storeroom and says that he's coming, but he turns back after discovering that he has the wrong set of keys. Boy, that was suspenseful.
Oh boy, that sure was close, you know?
Let's get out of here now. Where are the other girls?
Wait, are her eyes actually closed? You are aware that Chinese people actually can see, aren't you, Video Brinquedo?
They're under a spell. The only way the spell's broken is if they're kissed by a prince.
What are you talking about? We're still in the first grade. I don't think they're going to be kissed by anybody for a long, long time.
They're only in the first grade, and the magic mirror was trying to get them kissed by a prince? I know the original princesses these girls are based on were veering on the uncomfortably young side, but even they're getting creeped out by this.
We need to get them out of here before that dumb old Lurch comes back here. I'm so glad you happened to be looking for us, Hime.
No problemo, amiga.
No, wait, she's not Chinese. She's Mexican. Jaime pricks her finger as well. Cindy gets the idea to go get something from her dorm room that she thinks might help. She mocks Lurch for having short legs. How princessy. And what does she get that'll wake up her friends?
Well, he may not be a prince, but I hope it'll work anyway.
So, because there aren't any princes around, Cindy gets the idea to wake up her friends by having them kiss Bianca's.
Okay, you've already spent that nickel.
Why are there sound effects of baby chicks chirping? Oh my god, the rooster knocked all of them up while they were asleep!
Hey, what do you know? It's just like the original fairy tale.
So yeah, rather than have the princesses be awakened by true love's kiss, apparently any cock will do.
If it wasn't for our good Prince Crooner, we would still be under the sleeping spell.
Ew, stop looking at them like that! Story number 2, The Enchanted Toad, opens on the girls in the middle of gym class while they're still wearing their Sunday best. Coach Stepford Princess tells them that they're going to have the jumping, fencing, boxing, and running competitions, which is just adorable. To suggest that these animators are capable of anything that looks close to jumping, fencing, boxing, and running. Bless their Brazilian hearts. Cindy suddenly remembers that they still need some kind of route for class after their games. Yeah, they have the Olympics and they still gotta go to class afterwards. And there's only one place where they can get it.
Here we are, on the South Lake at the darkest and shadiest spot.
Oh, I'm scared.
Oh no, the pink world is a slightly darker shade of pink. It's so scary! Iria immediately bumps into this talking frog, which you think would be referenced in some kind of throwaway joke in her solo movie, like, "Why does this always happen to me?" And he says that he knows where to find the route that they're looking for.
But what do I get in exchange for telling you what you want to know?
Sexual favors? Actually, that's exactly what happens. The frog says he'll tell her what she wants to know in exchange for a kiss, which subsequently turns her into a frog as well. Very clever character design here, by the way. We can tell which frog is male and which is female because one of them has balls on their chin. We then cut to Hime wandering through a patch of fog.
Don't be afraid of me, my dear. I can see through this fog, and that a good friend of yours is in great danger.
Oh my gosh, you ran into Miss Crabtree.
Sit down back there!
This witch says that she can help Iria get back to normal, which just happens to involve the route that they're looking for. Of course it does. So they do a little magical hoo-ha, and it turns Iria back to normal. And it puts Zaji in whiteface?
It's good to see you as yourself again. I couldn't stand having a toad as a friend.
That's racist.
Tomorrow morning we have to participate in the Fairytale Olympics.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about it.
Wow, the Fairytale Olympics? Don't tell me. It's nothing but a series of races in order to determine who's the best alpha. The next day comes as we join the princesses at their Fairytale Olympics.
The princess's school has a great tradition of winning.
Who's talking? And why is the gym teacher staring at us?
I can see inside you. And now the jumping competition. The representative will be, let's see, Princess Iria. What? Wait! Hey, I think we just witnessed an Olympic record. Did anyone record that?
I did it! Hooray!
Wait a minute. That's it? Just one princess, one jump, and it's done? Even the Great Wolf Games had more than one event.
I guess the editors just wanted to be done with this movie as much as we are, hence they're keeping the original Portuguese song in this.
Early this morning, I watched the inter-school games, and I noticed something very odd.
Wait, inter-school games? Wasn't that the Fairytale Olympics? Because the disembodied announcer voice said that Iria had set a new Olympic record. An inter-school? What other schools were here? All that we saw were these 5 genetic miscreants, and only one of them actually did anything. And doesn't this school have a great tradition of winning? What's so suspicious about winners winning? It's the losers who suddenly win that's gonna be head-tilting, not this. What the hell's going on here?
It was Iria who struck me as odd.
Me? How's that? What did I do that was so special?
Well, that's it, my dear. You did great. You jumped up so high. Just like a toad would.
Suddenly I can't help but imagine Professor Snape delivering that dialogue. You did great, Mr. Potter. You jumped so high, just like a toad would. Zaji confesses that maybe Iria being a toad earlier might have had something to do with her winning jump. Then Bianca gives the frog over to Madame Drastic. Wait, when did she get her hands on the frog? Is Bianca an animal hoarder? The frog confesses that he was once a magician himself, and demonstrates that he's still full of tricks.
Ba-da-da-da.
Look, Brinquedo, you're sucking at ripping off these Disney princesses. What makes you think that you can do a good Michigan J frog?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire.
He goes on to say that a kiss will turn him back into a prince, except that it actually turns him into whatever the hell this thing is. Okay. On to our third and final story, Defenseless Princes. Ah, here we go. Finally some real girl power. We open again on our pint-sized protagonists in the middle of gym class wearing the exact opposite of gym clothes. You know, it's actually a good thing that these girls are keeping fit as they learn how to be princesses. Clearly they understand that they're role models to millions of little girls around the world, so it's important that they promote a healthy lifestyle.
A princess has to be in great shape if she wants to do high-stress shopping.
That's it. I'm out.
Once you've collected yourselves and surgically stapled your splitting sides back together, I want you to watch this scene unedited, and try to listen past the dialogue. Listen only to the background noises.
Hey, Cindy, are you with all this jumping?
You never know when a princess might need to jump high.
What? If you jump in crystal shoes, you could break them. And that would be a terrible thing to happen to a princess.
And remember, all of these girls are first graders. And Bianca in particular is doing this. Now more than ever before, must be a bomb show! Their grueling regiment of preparing for high-stress shopping, and so forth, is cancelled on account of a mysterious shadow flying through the sky.
Did you see that gigantic shadow that passed over us?
If there was something flying overhead, it was probably a plane.
Or maybe it was Superman.
Or a giant toad. Toad? How could that possibly be? Toads can't fly.
Oh, Bianca, get a life. You should just forget about it.
Great, now we're doing The Room.
Don't worry about it.
Bianca then meets this little strung-out squirrel who warns them about what just passed overhead.
Sure, thanks for the warning, little squirrel.
Tell us, Bianca, what did the squirrel say?
Girls, there's a monster around here.
Exactly what kind of monster is it?
Oh, I hope it's not a bad one. It flies way up high and leaves a cold wind wherever it passes.
Great, it's Elsa.
I just don't know. I think this monster story was just a big lie made up by the squirrel. Come on, Iria, why would a squirrel just make up a lie?
I'll tell you why. Because the squirrels are all about keeping the chipmunks down. Damn you, squirrels and your fake news!
A monster that eats courage is a story that seems to be a bit much.
It isn't. It's true. Where I come from, there was a monster that devoured all the courage of the samurais.
Fascinating. I didn't know that there were samurai in China. They go to their next class with Madame Drastic, only to find that nobody's there.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Probably not. I'm thinking, why are you suddenly so huge? Madame Drastic and, I don't know, maybe the principal, tell them that classes are canceled for today, and no one is to go outside, so they all retire to their dorm.
Oh.
What's that, little bird? Why, no, I can't murder all my friends. Don't be silly.
Actually, a little birdie tells Bianca that the princes in the school across the lake have locked themselves up inside.
Oh, you mean they're hiding? Oh!
No, their school is afraid of the monster too. The monster already devoured all the courage of the prince's school.
Yeah, nice. Laugh at the princes, who through no fault of their own are suddenly incapable of action. Let's see you laugh when they need to save you from a fire-breathing dragon. Or in Cindy's case, from your life of indentured servitude.
What about our stories, okay? If there's no courage, there'll be no charmed princes around to save us.
Oh my god. Let's for the moment ignore how this current turn of events means that only the princesses are left to be strong and resourceful on their own, but Iria didn't rely on a prince in her solo movie. Of all these girls who are aware of how their stories rely on their respective princes, why is it Iria to remind them of that? Why does the Mulan knockoff agree with Iria when it should have been her to suggest that they kick ass and take names? Remember, she didn't need the disappearance of the Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Laotian army to inspire her into action. She just did what she had to in spite of them, not because of them. They decide to go out and help the princes, but Zaji protests.
No, the instructions were clear. If we leave, we'll be punished.
And you're supposed to be based on a Muslim princess who was protesting her position as a glorified prize to be won. If you're so worried about breaking the rules, I think you'd be dressed a little more conservatively. If any of these princesses is going to be wary about breaking the rules, why isn't it Cindy, since she's the one who's most compliant with her authority figures? So they go off to save the princes.
I don't see anything.
I don't think we should get any closer. If we get too close, we could be spotted.
Did anyone remember to bring a telescope?
One really smart person did.
Why would you think of bringing that with you?
Where was she keeping it?
She looks in on the princes, who apparently have devolved into floaty faces.
Poor little princes.
Let's leave them there for 100 years, or maybe we can ask them to throw down their long hair.
Cindy, you're a bitch. Stop being a bitch. Then the monster shows up, choosing for no reason whatsoever to not eat the princess's courage, giving Bianca the chance to murmur at it. Why does she have to do that when she's never had to try to speak other animals' languages before? Anyway, she convinces the monster to leave, somehow, which gives everyone their courage back.
How did you convince the monster to just leave?
Yeah, how did you do that?
What did you have to give him for him to give us our courage back?
Oh, nothing much.
I told him too much courage is hard to swallow.
What?
She wasn't talking about courage.
And with that, I'm ending this review. This movie sucks! I know it's Video Brinquedo, and I may be beating a dead horse at this point, but man, this was terrible! The animation is hideous and slipshod, the voice acting is crap, the editing is embarrassing, the princesses themselves are cardboard cutouts of cardboard cutouts, and it completely wastes its own premise. These girls didn't learn a thing about being a princess, not even how to be beautiful, as the song goes. The closest thing to any kind of moral that it comes to is that it's always a good idea to solve your problems with talking, but this particular problem would have just resolved itself once this monster had its fill and left to look for more food elsewhere, so it's just kind of pointless. The only kind of girl power that can be found in this movie is the kind that'll keep the box from going hungry.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own. Everybody do the Michigan ride. Everybody likes the Michigan ride. Every Mame and Jane and Ruth. Stomp, romp, pump the Michigan, jump, clump, pump the Michigan rag. That loving rag. I'm wild about Harry, and Harry's wild about me. Oh, I'm just wild about Harry, and he's just wild about, cannot do without, he's just wild about me. Throw him down McCluskey, what's to be the battle cry? Throw him down McCluskey, you can lick him if you try. And future generations with wonder and delight will read on history's pages of the great McCluskey fight. Won't you come over to my house? I've lots of playthings, a dolly or two. We live in the house across the way. I'll give you candy and sweet things. I'll put your hair in a curl. Won't you come over to my house and play that you're my little girl? Bravo! La 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 la! Tonight is about da, da, oh. La 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 la. La 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 la. Please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Oh, honey, though our friendship ceases from now on. So, dear, it makes no difference how I carry on. Remember, please don't talk about me when I'm gone.
Hey guys, I have a package here to open from Jacob M. Keene of Adkins, Texas. Let's see what he's got for us here. Oh, looks like I started to cut into a little bit of a letter here. Let's be a little bit more careful here. We've got a letter and something in bubble wrap. Let's see what we got. Anything else in there? No. Okay. He writes, Dear Bob Show, I discovered your channel when I was searching for reviews of Chuck E. Cheese in the Galaxy 5000 on YouTube. People are looking for that of all things. Okay.
That right there says a lot about Jacob.
And have been a subscriber and a fan of yours ever since. I always enjoy seeing you bring attention to lesser-known movies, and either bashing them or praising them, and since you usually cover lesser-known movies in your reviews, whether good or bad, I'm sending you a couple of movies that are likely lesser-known, and I'd love to see you review them. The first is an Australian movie called Napoleon, not to be confused with Napoleon Bonaparte, from 1995, which is about a puppy whose dream is to become a wild dog. And unlike previous dog movies you've reviewed, this one doesn't have any CG animation for the animal faces, but just shows live-action animals with the voices dubbed over them. Think Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey, except with much more focus on the animals, with only a minor focus on the humans.
Oh, you mean like the smart way to do it?
Oh, what a relief that will be. You know what? My issue with those movies isn't that they have CGI faces. It's that they only have CGI mouths. Their mouths will be saying something that's very particular to the plot. Meanwhile, their faces are just going off doing whatever the hell that the dog wants them to do, because it's a dog! It doesn't know what's happening! But you know what? At least with this, you know what they're looking at. You know what's going on with their little doggy faces. It's not trying to compensate for something it's not, but getting off point. Although this movie originated in Australia, it also had an American dub featuring the voice talents of Adam Wiley, Bronson Pichon, Deborah Mooney, and the late David Ogden Steers, whose name I recognize for some reason, but I'm not putting a name or a face to.
Well, Bronson Pichon used to be on Perfect Strangers.
Mm-hmm. Wallace Shawn, gotta have him, and more. And the copy I sent is of the American dub. The second movie is the CG animated adaptation of The Little Engine That Could from 2011, and features the voice talents of Alison Stoner. Really? Dominic Scott Kay, Whoopi Goldberg, oh joy, Patrick Warburton, Jodie Benson, Jeff Bennett, Jim Cummings, and more. I searched for reviews of these movies on YouTube, and while I found a single review of Napoleon, I couldn't find any review of the 2011 Little Engine That Could adaptation, and thought they both deserve more attention, especially among reviewers. I look forward to possible reviews of these movies by you at some point. Sincerely, Jacob M. Keene. P.S. You're my favorite internet reviewer, and I hope you can reach 100,000 subscribers and beyond someday. P.P.S. These movies are yours to keep, and thank you for taking the time to read my letter. You are very welcome.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed. And
just as a side note, and I this has come up once before, you might want to mention to your fans that you're not able to send things back. If they send it to you, they have to count it as it's gone.
As a donation.
Yeah, as a donation.
Yeah.
Please don't send anything that you would like back, because that's just not possible.
Not really, no. Sorry about that. But, indeed, we do have Napoleon, and of course it stars a cute little golden retriever puppy. Because those are the only things that exist.
You have to keep an open mind.
Fine. Oh, look. The dog fell in love with a lady French poodle. Who saw that one coming?
You don't know. You don't know the French poodle could be Napoleon.
Uh-huh, sure. And the little engine that could. And oh my god, does he look nightmare-inducing.
Little engine that scared the crap out of everybody.
I think I can give you nightmares. I think I can give you nightmares. Thank you very much for those movies, Jacob. I'm sure I will make good use of them. And anyone else who wants to send me letters, fan mail, movies, anything at all, just go ahead and ship it to the P.O. Box in the corner, and I'll see you later.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more.